Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your seafaring service. Yes, we're all adrift in 2020. Now firstly, apologies for not having made a video in the last 5 or 6 days. The last video I did was the Blade sword from the film Blade. And before that was a whole slew of the Beeb's Dracula. Oh God, let's not go down that road again. Ever again. That Borgo pass shall not pass. Anyway, yeah, I've been really super busy in work. I've been working extra hours, so I've been coming home late, and yeah, I've kind of neglected you guys. I do apologise. I'm going to try to put that to rights. Now, in lieu of anything else to actually review at the moment, although there's a few things lined up, I thought we've hit 2020 and there's things to look forward to. Wonder Woman, yes. James Bond, yes. Beyonce doing the main song, I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Hans Zimmer doing the score. Hans Zimmer, who sounds like a fucking Bond villain anyway. And like, I know a lot of my film score buddies are kind of like going like, Hans Zimmer, no! And ordinarily I'd be like that too, except for one little factor. He did Christopher Nolan's Inception, as well as every other fucking Christopher Nolan movie. And that, if anything, was a homage to John Barry's score to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. My favourite Bond film, by the way, has got the one title I can't ever say without going, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, OHMSS. There you go, done it. But don't ask me to do it again, because my lips and my tongue just don't seem to want to wrap around those words. So that was a bit of like maybe a dry run rehearsal. There is elements, a very Bondian element to that. But anyway, and the film itself. But yeah, so there's things to look forward to. But we've just started the year. Fuck's sake. Donald Trump, oh my God, what have you done? What have you done? You were speeding us to World War III, to hell in a handcart, by taking out that Iranian, top general, who, by the way, seems to his destruction has united, Iranians, and probably most of the Middle East, who all can't get along. Only, last year there was mass protests in Iran about the gas price hike that the authorities had put onto the already impoverished population. So they took to the streets. Many were killed. I mean, I've heard estimates of between 200 and 600 people were killed and incarcerated, by the authorities. And there was a news blackout. They pretty much stopped all social media and any internet access for at least 7 days, so no one could tell the story. And then, of course, they've quashed it all down. So, and then these people don't like the tyrannical, government in charge. And yet, you take out one guy like that, and the thing is, they hate America more. Death to America! Death to America! And they're burning fucking effigies of Donald Trump and burning the stars and bars. They've always done that, so, hey ho. But, so in retaliation, after their several days of mourning for this guy, did you see how many people hit the streets? I mean, I'm not saying, coercion and like what you can't see is all the AK-47s leveled at people. Get in there and start crying now. I don't know. But my God, that looked millions and millions strong. I've never seen that many people without the embellishment of CGI. And Jesus Christ, that was an intimidating sight. But these guys, I mean to cast no aspersions here. You have your ways of doing things, but it seems that there's no real fucking, grace and dignity in a massive million-strong mob chanting and wailing and flinging that coffin around. Dignity and grace, methinks. No, fucking toss it from person to person. No, I expected his remains to tumble out the casket at some point. I don't know. And of course, in that chaos, 150 people. Now, that's a figure that's been bandied around. I also read 196 people were killed in a crush, in a stampede. So they've become unwilling martyrs, to the cause as well. It's just, crowd control. And on that topic as well, not crowd control, civil aviation control. You shot down a bloody Ukrainian jet on its way to Kiev. It took off from Tehran. You had just bombed American bases. Now, you did it as a sort of warning, as you termed it, a slap in America's face. You actually aimed pretty much to miss. You didn't cause much damage, if any, and with no casualties whatsoever. And that's meant to. We've now fought back for the loss of our much beloved general who persecuted and tortured people and caused uprisings in other nations and also trained and equipped terrorists around the Middle East. Yeah, that guy you all love. That guy that you got your little kids to dress up as in that funeral procession. Little kids of about 3, dressed up in army regalia, berets on, and all the same braid and badges that guy had. Incidentally, I call this ghoulish, but I saw pictures of his remains. He was identified by the ring he had on a finger, and he was hit by a drone. He was obliterated, as you'd expect. I've seen the remains. His head was there, unrecognisable of course, but the hand was there and just awful. Now, did they just shovel all that and put it into the casket? Because they could have put it in a fucking jiffy bag, and as the bag, not plastic though, not plastic. Make sure it's at least biodegradable. Got to preserve the world now, even though we're going to head to nuclear Armageddon. So there wasn't enough to put in a casket. But anyway, here's what it is. So they fired these missiles off, and it was just a slap in the face of America. Yes, we've fought back now. Yes, there you go. Now you know we mean business, because you don't have any nuclear weapons to hit America with. So that's the best you can do. But then this jet goes down. Oh, God. All evidence points to the fact that you shot it down with your own missile defense system, which, by the way, is a Russian defense system, which has also been involved in 2 other jets being downed, which, of course, no, not shot down, but we know that they were shot down. That's now been proved. And this jet, I'm afraid you're going to find, which carried lots of Canadians, I think 3 or 4 Britons were on there as well. What the hell they were all doing, in Tehran? Fucking hell, on flight to Kiev. But, of course, every single person aboard that plane has died. The Iranian authorities have recovered the black box flight recorder, but they're saying it's slightly damaged. And up until this recording, they haven't given it over to the authorities from Kiev, who have come over as a criminal investigative team, because they suspect foul play. Now, even Trump saying, look, if you shot it down, we pretty much believe you did it by mistake. And they've got satellite tracking. They saw the missile go up. They saw it hit the plane. There's actually footage of it hitting the plane. You see it hit that plane. Fire breaks out. The plane then tries to navigate. It's only literally 90 seconds into its flight. It's only just took off. Gets hit. Boom. Begins to try to turn. It's a ball of flame. It comes down. There is photos of the missile sort of warhead that hit it. But a defence spokesman for the UK said, without geophysical evidence that is in the same location, I can't say anything, I can't deny it. But it looks like a missile head, yeah, but, it could be anywhere. Plus, why is it so intact? If it hit this bloody plane, then there should just be shards of that. Anyway. And of course, Iran's saying, it's a smokescreen. No, it's Trump, it's propaganda. I mean, Trump, he said, look, the plane was in a rough place. A rough place? That plane was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It messed with the wrong people. See, the problem they had just fired those missiles. So barely an hour later, great big plane takes off. That missile defense system, which should have human operators too, but they don't seem to communicate too well, it assumed that plane was a threat. So fired at it and took it down. That's what it's designed to do. It's not a very good system. It should have, plane recognition technology, and someone on the operating, desk going, hang on a minute, that's a passenger jet. Don't. Oh, wasn't me. It was the Americans. Yeah. Where's that flag? Let me burn it. The richest guy in the Middle East must be the guy that makes American flags. Giving out to crowds. Burn. They hate America so much. Why have they got so many American flags? Weirdness. Happy New Year, folks. It's a Saturday morning now, and as regular viewers will know, that usually means I'm recovering from a Freedom of Friday night of madness and chaos, bedlam and mayhem. Much whiskey, much wenching. Just don't tell Mrs. Kilt-Man. Anyway, it didn't happen because the only wench I saw last night was me mum, big Kilt mama, because I promised to take her out. So that's what happened there. And even though copious whiskey ensued, there wasn't much chaos and bedlam. Damn it. I'll make up for it though. Mark my words. In other news, Harry and Meghan Markle. Oh God, Australia is ablaze. We have destroyed the environment. We're possibly speeding towards World War III. Although Trump says Iran has stood down. Iran has stood down. Stop sending flags over there because they've stood down. So there's a lot of serious issues which are taking place, and yet the world's like half the world's like, yes, Harry and Meghan, they're going to ditch their royal ties, they're going to stop all their royal duties, they're going to become normal people, and they're going to come to the North America. Canada's saying, come to us, come to us. America's saying, come to us, come to us. Contracts, and you can promote this, you can be on this TV show, you can, oh God, this is great. And the UK is like, no, what? How dare you renounce your duties to the Queen and country? Even though you're never going to be king, never, because there's a fucking million other people lined up before they ever get to your ginger bonce. Yep, your balding ginger bonce. How dare you turn your back on the establishment and the monarchy that keeps Britain, great. I like the royals. I like the fact that they exist. I don't agree with, the taxpayers' money funding them completely, and all the state ceremonies and the bullshit that goes along with it all. I like the fact that they exist. I don't think they should have any power whatsoever. People would argue that they haven't got any power. Well, they have. Their commercial and institutionalized respect that they garner is enough in itself. The way that they can waltz around the world, put their name towards a worthy cause, but they live a life of absolute luxury. Of course they do. They live in the stratosphere compared to us downtrodden dreamers. And but I like the fact that they're there. But I also think you're a human being, and if you don't want to fucking do all that shit, you should be able to walk away. Sorry, this ain't for me. I didn't ask to be born into this family, and some would say he really wasn't born into that family. Was old Harry. We all know who the real dad was. And it wasn't the guy with the ears. No. Honestly, I couldn't father a little ginger bastard like that. No. Come here. Fetch me another corgi soup. So yeah, weirdness. So America seems to want them to be there, and everyone's made up about that. But in the UK, it's like, no, you turned your back on us. You've got, I was going to see Pierce Brosnan then. He'd love that. Pierce Morgan, that arch supreme wank shaft, who got booted out of America, and yet I ask the cutting questions. You're also a fucking idiot. You are human clickbait. Everything you say, like Jeremy Clarkson, another fucking wanker. Everything you say is meant to cause scandal and outrage and controversy. So people just watch you. I do. Before I go to work in the morning, I see him prattling on and denouncing the guests that they have on sometimes who have views. Very often I agree with Piers Morgan. It's the delivery, it's the attitude, it's the smug persona, which culminates in a twat of, quite, gargantuan proportions. Now he has said, he should be stripped of all, this is Harry and Meghan, they should be stripped of all their honours and whatever, any respect. He absolutely he lambasted them. What does it mean to you? What does them leaving mean to any of us? What fucking say do we have in the matter? I'll tell you, zilch, zilcheroonie, zip, nada, fuck all. Let them do what they want to do. You know, I'm not bothered. The weird thing was in work, and you know, all the lads in work, all the women in work were kind of like, oh, this is shocking, this is outrageous, oh my God, what's going to happen? No, I'm over dramatising, but you get the gist. And the lads were like, oh, fucking so what? Don't give a shit. Exactly. Why should we? You know, they're just a family. Regardless of what status, you know, that they seem to have. You know, what does it matter? If like, a couple want to just, look, you know, I'm fed up with this, I'm going to do something else. They've got good grounds, you know, the media hound them, you know, and whereas other members of the royal family, let's just work this out now, his uncle's a pedo, who was also, you know, removed himself from public duty, quite wisely in his particular case. Your grandmother was a German who married their cousin, you know. Royals, you know, that they are the perfect fodder for, you know, shooting down, metaphorically speaking, because, you know, it's such a buffoony fucking lifestyle. We all know, to keep the bloodstock pure, they're all inbreds. Fucking none of them are from Britain anyway, none of them are fucking English. You know, they're all fucking German and Bavarian and Austrian. Oh, fuck that shit, you know. It's a load of old bloody twaddle, is what it is. But yeah, so at least 2020 didn't start off like on a little bland sort of thing of, you know, a sort of, you know, wistful optimism. It started off with a crash bang fucking wallop, you know, death, destruction, burning jets, you know, the threat of world war. Straight away this happened. Of course, you've got to remember as well now, Trump was being up for impeachment. He has been impeached. I'm British. I haven't got a fucking clue what that means. And I bet most of you Americans don't have a fucking clue what it means either. And Trump doesn't care what it means. When asked the difference between arrogance and, what is it now? Arrogance and ignorance, Donald Trump said, I don't know and I don't care. Which I think is brilliant. But, you know, he doesn't even know what impeachment means. He doesn't care, doesn't give a shit. But now, this whole thing with Iran, it's all, well, impeachment's kind of forgotten about. And really, all the Brexit shit that we've been facing in this country, and all the infighting with all the political parties, you know, that's one party I don't want to go to. Boring! Where's the whiskey? Then again, you know, a lot of Tories had little boys brought in as well, so that's another party I don't want to go to. You know what I'm saying? So, Brexit's all been forgotten about. That's meant to be happening at the end of this month. You know, the whole thing then begins to kick in properly. So, but it's not getting talked about because there's so many other bigger things. Weirdly, the Australian bushfires have sort of been swept under the carpet a little in the last few days, where they did, and you know, righteously so, dominate the news. God, folks, you know, if you can donate anything at all to that, I have done, because, and I'll be honest, you know, there's strife all over the world. We know about this. If you gave to everything, then you'd be destitute and on the streets, you know, with nothing to your name. So you've got to, sadly, it's a case of picking and choosing what moves you most. And I was massively moved by that, so I have donated towards that. If I could do more, I'd do more. I'm not a trained firefighter. I don't think I could put up with a 24-hour flight over there, potentially getting shot down en route. So, you know, there's not much I can do. We have, at the moment, one hell of a hoolie blowing out there. We've had a couple of mild days, and it suddenly hit a cold snap. And I woke up to a howling gale this morning, and Mr. Kilt-Man said, you know, there's a huge black cloud over there, over yonder. So keep a weather eye out for that one, she said. Batten down the hatches, Cat and Kilty. And squall ahead. Now, if that came, you know, if only a huge tempest, you had the power to send it over to where these infernos are and just douse the lot, you know. If only you had the power to do that. And some would say we have got weather manipulation capabilities, you know, what is it, Halo or something? You know, high altitude, something or other, I don't know. You can seed the clouds, and you can use electromagnetic pulses to change the weather system as well. Yeah, oh yeah, can do all that shit. And I reckon they probably are doing it. It can be used as a meteorological weapon. It can also be used, for crops and harvesting and agricultural infrastructure. A lot of benefits to it. But all this stuff of manipulating nature, you can't manipulate nature. Nature's always in charge. Nature does what nature does, and nature will always survive. So even if, sadly, even if Australia became just one, humanity-ridden, desolate, pot of ash, nature would still cultivate something out of that. Nature wants us gone anyway. Human beings, if anything, just witnessing that state funeral for Suleiman, whatever his name is, in Iran, and seeing all those gazillion, trillion people lying in the streets and across that bridge, like ants scurrying about. Not only was it a very intimidating sight, it was also quite a tragic sight. That just shows what we are like, human beings, just storming all over this planet, claiming it as our own, storming here, storming there, building, then destroying, then, eradicating, populations of animals here, there and everywhere, cutting down trees, doing all this shit to the planet. And the planet's just going, look, your time here is very, very limited. You may have your lifespan, you may have been here for a few thousand years, but, that's nothing. That's the blink of an eye to me, and I am going to remove you just like that. I'm going to hot the place up, and I'm going to flood you out. Those that have got land, I'm going to burn you out of that, And then those that survive, you'll probably kill each other. So that's the state of the world, according to Captain Kilt-Man. So folks, I'm going to do stuff today. I'm going to brave the elements out there, which looks amazing actually. It means I should really put on a bit more of a heavy duty kilt. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing the Hunting Stuart today. There you go. Blues, reds, greens, yellows. A bit of black in there as well. It is, as I always say, a resplendent tartan. I've got to do my homework on this. I've got 12 different Stuart tartans. I know there's more. In the words of Rambo, there's more out there. Find him, or I'll find you. So yeah, I want to get more kilts. So resolutions this year, folks. Let me know what your New Year's resolutions are, if you have any. It's a silly concept, I know. If you want to change yourself, do it anytime. Do it whenever you want. But it's nice to have a particular time and date specified and set aside so people can make their resolutions sort of en masse. Mine would be to try and save some money. Mine would be to, spend more time with the family. I'm only saying that because they're listening. To drink perhaps a bit less. Fuck that. Get more kilts. Take this channel to another level as well. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I've got a few crazy, zany ideas. Just do more, basically, and keep you guys entertained. Occasionally, I do these videos where it's just, hey, let's talk about world events, because I haven't got anything to show you, anything new. There's no new mask, there's no new sword. You saw the new sword. Did you like the new sword? Here it is. It's still down here because I'm still playing with it. There you go. It's the Blade from the film Blade, carried by a guy called Blade. I love it. Love it. Fabulous sword. Again, everyone goes, it's a samurai sword. No, it's not a samurai sword. This is not a katana. It's not a curved blade. It's a double-edged sword. But they see that because of the round hilt and this sort of design work here. A lot of the handles of katanas look similar to that. So, I can see why people make that mistake. But look at the blade. Look at the blade from the film Blade. What's playing right now is Vaughan Williams. God, what's it called? Fantasia. Fantasia on a Theme by Thomas Tallis. And it's from the film Master and Commander. The fabulous seafaring yarn Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. Awesome. Yeah, listen to this. And this plays like sort of similar to Adagio for Strings by Barber for Platoon. Because a guy they've just lost somebody at sea, and they've got to cut him loose because the mast has come down, and in the tempest, he's attached to that mast. It's going to drag the ship down, so they have to cut the ropes, and his brother watching as well, and this poor guy gets swept out, and it's just, it's truly tragic. On a similar note, I am devouring the Stars TV show Black Sails. I am speeding through season 3 at the moment. I know I came to this quite late, but my God, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Some of the best characters, some of the best, costumes, some really gritty action, lots of sex, some great dialogue, and really, the skullduggery that takes place, the infighting, the backstabbing, the politics of it all. Of trying to keep Nassau as the pirate base, free from the yoke of the English fucking government and monarchy. This country I'm sitting in right now has such a lot to answer for. It really does. The shit it has caused around the world in its history. I could sit and waffle on for fucking 10 days, night and day, 24/7, and I wouldn't even cover the tip of the iceberg with the shit that this country's done. And yet we're great, we're proud. We've got to preserve our morals and our values. Yes. Folks, been great talking to you again. There'll be more, as I say, of substance. Weirdly enough, I did those Dracula videos, and we gained a few more subscribers. So the Kilt Army, the Tartan Army grew, and they did garner a hell of a lot of views as well. And I was a bit surprised by that, because I thought, does anyone really care about Dracula? This particular version. Well, yeah, they did, and almost to a man. All the comments that I've had, almost 100% have been totally validating. Yeah, first 2 episodes were great. Third episode was a complete and utter travesty, an absolute turd fest. I gave it a spectacular non-review. It was just a rant, but that's all it deserved. Someone asked me, in the cold light of day, would you return to that and maybe do a proper review, and maybe watch it again to give it a second day in court? And I thought that's a really good idea, yeah, because when I've calmed down, in sobering eye, watching it the next day, watching it again, I should say, I might see something of worth, or at least be able to discuss the things I hated about it so much. And I thought it was a good idea. But no, I'm not going to waste any more time and effort on that fucking shit. I won't do it. I will not do it. What I didn't mention in the last video, though, is that horrible, pseudo-fake slap in the tits homage they did to Dracula, the Hammer Dracula, where they had bloody Van Helsing's descendant, the girl suffering from cancer, dying from cancer, legging it across a boardroom table, leaping up at the curtains and pulling the curtains down, as Peter Cushing did as Professor Van Helsing in the original Hammer 1958 Dracula. Only in this case, the sunlight doesn't turn into ash, because it's all fake news. Fake news, loser. And Dracula's got it all wrong. They still want to make, more seasons of this. Oh, God. Please don't. Just don't. Folks, I have done a circuitous, rambling, meandering course through these turbulent seas. I hope you're still on board. Stay safe, stay happy. Keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. Try and get some more people on board this, because we're going to go places. We need to go places. I'd like to get some guests, and do some proper interviews. Who knows? It may happen. Never underestimate Kilt-Man and his influence. Especially when he's under the influence. You guys, take it easy, and I'm going to see you all later. Smoke an oakum, boys.